Clearly invisible with map, where the best things live off the map. You might miss it with your eyes, but you'll feel it in your life. Clearly invisible with map, see the soul behind the stats. If you stay a little while, you'll start seeing through the smile.
Hey there, Matt Lindsay here. Hope you are doing well. Happy, well, whatever day that you watch this. It's Wednesday here. I'm in the car. No, don't worry about me being behind the wheel. I haven't driven in 12 years. Now, don't count the little bitty golf carts. I stopped driving about when Eli was born. He'll be 13 in March. So it's almost been 13 years. So I'm in the car because Linda and Eli are in the dentist office. And I always have a hard time going in there. So this is me being vulnerable and explaining a little things about the disease that I have, including my son, because he has inherited it. And so yeah, I'll just explain that as briefly as I can. I was born with something called Axenfeld-Rieger Syndrome. And if you look it up, it's a very rare disease. They don't know where it came from. My mom, dad, there's no one on either side of my family that has it. So it happened to me first, I guess. So I guess that's a start somewhere. People who have it can have a variety of things. But the most, I wouldn't say the most important, the one that really stands out for most people with Axenfeld-Rieger syndrome is glaucoma. And glaucoma is usually a very rare, hard to treat glaucoma because of the Axenfeld-Rieger syndrome. And it has a lot to do with the shape of the eye. Some people who have glaucoma can live with it all their life, but because of the way my eyes are shaped, the fluid and its filtering just doesn't work as well. So anyway, besides the glaucoma, there are other things with Axenfeld-Rieger syndrome. And one thing that's very, throughout the people who have it, is missing teeth. I don't tell a lot of people this, but here I am to sharing with whoever watches this. I really don't care anymore. This was one of the hardest things that I had to deal with as a child. I think I told one class, I had an education class this past fall, and I told them, but I don't think in my 28 years I've ever told any of my students. I think someone asked me a question one time about something in my teeth. When I was born, I had 13 permanent teeth that never came in. So, after you lose your baby teeth, usually you have a tooth that pushes out the other one. So, my baby teeth up here, the front ones here, there were six. They never had a permanent tooth to push them out. So when I was in the third grade, I think, third or fourth grade, I saw a dentist, and he pulled my front teeth. They were baby teeth, and they put in a partial. So again, fourth grade, have a partial, you stick it out, take it out, whatever. I still have a partial. I do. Don't care who knows it either. It doesn't matter anymore. When I was in the fourth grade, I didn't have that partial very long. I got sick one night and I threw up. And it flushed it down the toilet. So I think the dentist was really, really nice, and he just gave me another one, fixed another one for me. And that was the fourth grade. Because when I grew up, we were on government assistance most of my life. So we didn't have money to, we couldn't afford good dentistry. I don't even know how that was paid for. I'm sure the government took care of it. Who knows? But this is tragic. In the fifth grade, this is awful. I'm laughing now, but it was a really, really hard time when I was a kid. In the fifth grade, there used to be a lake in not too far from here. It's called Miller's Lake, and everybody would go and swim in Miller's Lake. You couldn't pay me to get into the lake now from all those things that, people can get those amoebas up their nose into their brains. You couldn't pay me to get into a lake. No thanks. But anyway, but back then I didn't know the difference. It was the 80s. You did, if you lived in the 80s, crazy. Well, anyway, so I went swimming with a friend. And I jumped into Miller's Lake and my teeth came out. Yeah. And I was staying all night with the kid that night. I was so upset. I just could not believe what happened to me. And the lady, the mother of the child, I was staying with a kid named Paul. The mother said, "Don't worry, Matt, your mom will understand." And I thought, what's my mom going to do? We can't afford for me to get new teeth. And so anyway, the next day when Nancy, I remember her, she takes me home, and she's the one that told my mom. She says, Matt lost his teeth. And of course, I remember her saying, well, we can't afford anymore. And I don't remember how the others were paid for. So this was 5th grade, close to middle school. Was 5th grade considered middle school? 6th, 7th, 8th, maybe. 5th grade, I lost my front teeth. Guess when I got my 3rd set of front teeth? 12th grade. Yeah. I went from 5th grade to the 12th grade with no front teeth. Yeah. Can you imagine the bullying that I got when I was in school? The names they called me. I was one of those kids that now you think, oh my God, this is one of these kids who would, I don't know what. But I learned a lot about humans during that time. And I learned how to continue and grow and become strong. So, yeah, I can't believe I'm sharing this story. But let's just say 5th grade through 12th grade was absolute hell for me. And now I'm a teacher. And I have very, very little patience for when I see bullying going on. And I didn't have any friends in school because of that. I was considered really weird. So, and I've had trouble making friends as an adult. I don't have very many now. I mean, who do I invite over to my house? Nobody. It's my wife and my son and my family. And that's it. I've really had a hard time making friends because I'd never had any in school. And it was a hard time. It was a hard time. And you don't forget those things. I can remember the names of the kids that teased me. Yeah. Well, anyway, I know that's being vulnerable and sharing, but yeah, that's a partial. It will come right out. But I don't like to show people that. And my wife has rarely ever seen that. But right now, my son is in there, and he has inherited my disease. And I knew that when I was a child. I was told, they said, if you ever had children, there's a 50% chance that your son will have that disease, or son, or your child. And of course, when I met Linda, I said, I don't want to have children. So we were always very cautious, and it happened anyway. And he's the greatest being, the best thing that has ever happened to me was the birth of my son, Eli. We didn't know if he had inherited my disease till about he was 10 years old. We knew he had some teeth issues, but everybody does in my family. And so we just thought, that was normal. But we just took him at 10, just like myself, to see his doctor for some new glasses, and she checked his pressures. And she says, Matt, I think he might have glaucoma. That was just a couple years ago, because he's 12 now. So he was diagnosed at 10, just like what I was. So 2 years ago was 2024 when he was diagnosed. And I was diagnosed in 1985 when I was 10. Things are different. My doctor keeps telling me, Eli's going to have a different life. His story won't be like yours. He's on one eye drop. He takes one eye drop at night right before he goes to bed. I was on like 4 or 5 my whole life. I'm on 3 right now, and I've had 5 glaucoma surgeries. Eli takes 1 drop before he goes to bed. He does it himself, and his pressures are perfect. His teeth's not normal, just like me. He's inherited that as well. And when we found out he had glaucoma, I missed like 3 days of school. It was like one of the lowest times. It's like I knew I'd pass this on to my son. Eli's never made me feel guilty about it. He's always, he's such a good kid. And he's like, Dad, you didn't know. Because I told him, I said, Eli, I didn't want kids. He said, I know. He said, I was a miracle. I was a surprise. And he was. And so I love my boy. And he's okay with the dentistry too. He's fine. He's fine. He's lucky though. He's not going to have a partial. He's got some teeth that the orthodontist can put together, and he's not going to have what I have. And so sometimes I just don't go in. I just feel so guilty. It's like, this is my fault that Eli has this. But he doesn't make me feel that way, and my wife doesn't either, but I do. But anyway, so that's me being vulnerable. You know, a little bit about me and the weird stuff I went through. I've got tons of stories. But how long have I been talking? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So thanks for sticking with me. I think I will title this, All I Want for Christmas is My 6 Front Teeth.
They ask me how I see the world, I smile and say, I listen close.